Is World Heroes for the Super Nintendo the guilty pleasure energy drink of 2D fighters? Cheap cane sugar, questionable aftertaste, yet somehow the thing you reach for when Street Fighter 2 feels too polished. Rhetorical obviously, we both know you've tasted worse. Dropped onto Neo Geo boards in summer 1992 and squeezed onto an SNES cart a year later, ADK's time-hopping slugfest is equal parts shameless clone and riotous innovator. Underrated? Definitely. Most retro lists forget it exists. Overrated? Only if you believe spike-lined boxing rings belong in a history museum. Fundamental? Not in the hallowed Capcom sense, but skip it and you'll never trace where charge-held normals, oil-slick arenas, and Doc Brown hosts Mortal Kombat first collided on 16-bit silicon. Historical context by July 28, 1992. Capcom's Street Fighter 2 had already turned pizza parlors into mosh pits. A DK-pitched SNK on a hook even Hollywood hadn't milked. Hall legends from every time period, Ninja, Viking, Musketeer-adjacent Crusader, and dumped them into a scientist gladiator playground. The result, World Heroes, shipped on the Neo Geo MVS with two show-stopping quirks. A 3-button hold for heavy control scheme, and the infamous deathmatch arenas where electrified ropes, landmines, and banana peel oil patches turned technical bouts into slapstick mayhem. I first spotted the cabinet at XP Arcade, wedged between an MVS running Fatal Fury and a battered X-Men 4-player brawler. The attract loop showed Jean Dark drop-kicking Rasputin across live wires while Roman spectators threw roses. Quarters flew faster than Fuma's tornado slash. Sunsoft's SNES conversion hit North America in September 1993, priced at $59.99, boasting every fighter and hazard but saddled with smaller sprites and a mild frame rate diet. Its timing could not have been harsher. Street Fighter 2 Turbo owned rental racks. Mortal Kombat bled gray sweat on the same console, and Samurai Showdown teased a weapon-based future. Yet those same heavyweights made World Heroes feel like the indie cousin with party tricks. 8 characters instead of 16, yes, but where else could you German suplex a cyborg into a landmine? Mechanics, 3-button pressure system. Forget Capcom's 6-button ballet. World Heroes maps just 3 face buttons: punch, kick, and throw. Tap for light, press, and hold for heavy. An accessibility coup that newcomers mastered in minutes. Game FAQs move charts detail the timing. A 0.2 second press yields medium, 0.5 second press fires heavy. A concept SNK later weaponized in King of Fighters' light strong split. Strength, instant comprehension. Weakness, fewer normals means spacing relies on specials, making footsies shallow compared to Street Fighter's poke chess. Specials riff on global cliches. Hanzo's shuriken arcs downward rather than straight, punishing jump spammers. Dragon Kim channels Bruce Lee, complete with ear-splitting yowl samples, into a spin kick that trades invincible frames for style. Brocken's extendable rocket fists preview Dalsum on jet fuel. The SNES cart keeps every command but sheds animation frames. RVG Fanatic dings it for sluggish jumps, yet concedes the game plays fine once you adjust. Deathmatch mode now, the absurd magnet that keeps us talking. Deathmatch. Standard rings get replaced by gimmicks. Electric ropes, zap chip damage. Spike floors, chew vitality. Oil slick tiles send both fighters skating like drunken figure skaters. SNK Wiki lists 10 unique hazards, all present on SNES. Watching a Viking shoulder charge an opponent into live wires, rebound splash into a landmine, then slip on oil is Looney Tunes meets Gladiator. Competitive purists balk, but party vibes soar. YouTube captures from original hardware show momentum combos extended by rope bounce. SNES replicates the physics, only slightly slower. Speed, hit stops, and audio speed is the cart's Achilles heel. Where Neo Geo hums at 60 frames per second, the Super NES plods closer to 50. Heavy attacks feel like they're punching through syrup. ClassicGames.net notes the shrink ray that reduced sprite size to combat memory limits, trading spectacle for playability. Yet hit stop impact pauses still resonate, and ADK's heroic brass soundtrack survives thanks to Sunsoft engineers squeezing PCM samples through the SPC 700 voice clips took a trim to save ROM space. Brocken no longer shouts Deutschland after victories, one of the few audible absences compared with MVS recordings. Retro threads confirm the clip exists only on Neo Geo. SNES swaps it for a generic laugh. Roster in a time machine blender, 8 selectable fighters plus boss Gigas deliver a buffet of archetypes. Hanzo/Fuuma Fuuma dual ninja rivalry, the Ryu/Ken equivalents. Dragon Kim, a Bruce Lee pastiche who spams dragon tail kicks. Yana Dark, a French crusader brandishing rapier grace and knee drops. Eric, literally Eric the Red, built like Zangief with Viking shoulder rams. Muscle Power, Hulk Hogan parody complete with atomic lariat. Brocken, cyborg German soldier firing extendable limbs and chest missiles. Rasputin, mystical monk hurling love hearts and growing giant hands. Gigas, liquid metal boss who shapeshifts into others before exploding. Giant Bomb's character list corroborates every design and move reference. Balance suffers, Brocken and Dragon dominate mid-range. Muscle Power's slow windups punish new players. But the personality quota hits maximum. Strengths versus weaknesses. Strengths bold deathmatch variety, accessible 3-button inputs, irresistible time travel theme, and a soundtrack that still belongs on synthwave playlists. Weaknesses, SNES slowdown, trimmed animation, and lopsided character balance. Competitive depth pales next to Street Fighter II Turbo, released the same quarter. Legacy and influence World Heroes never cracked EVO stages, yet its DNA seeped into bigger franchises. Deathmatch hazards foreshadowed Mortal Kombat stage fatalities, and Super Smash Bros. Environmental mayhem. SNK's later 4-button light, strong layout evolved directly from ADK's pressure hold concept, as noted in design retrospectives and community wikis. World Heroes Perfect 1995 expanded mechanics with parry-style intercepts years before Capcom unveiled parry in Street Fighter III. Super Combo's wiki credits it as an early Just Defend prototype. Hamster resurrected the original via ACA Neo Geo on Switch in 2017, ensuring modern leaderboards keep geeking over rope bounce combos. Speedrun.com lists arcade any % clears dipping below 9 minutes. Evidence that, sluggish port aside, the core engine allows ruthless efficiency. Collectors treat the SNES cart as affordable nostalgia. Price charting averages hover around $13 to $15 loose, with CIB hitting mid-40s. Proof supply remains healthy, yet boxed copies still fetch more than many forgotten fighters of the era, hinting at cult gravity. Closing paragraph plus score. So what's the final verdict on World Heroes for SNES? It's the spunky cover band that sneaks an original riff, botches a few notes, yet leaves the dive bar crowd screaming for encore. Electrified ropes and oil slicks keep matches hilarious. The 3-button grip invites button mash newbies without alienating combo lab rats. And the historical mashup roster makes every mirror match feel like a what if comic. Yes, the port's slower pace and reduced animation trip the competitive edge, and certain tier gaps could swallow a Viking longship, but hook up 2 pads, toggle deathmatch, and you'll laugh harder than any pristine parry fest on modern netcode. Final score, 7.5 out of 10. Add 0.5 if you think Viking shoulder tackles deserve their own Olympic division. Subtract 1 if you can't forgive the sprite shrink ray.